That's me, Joel.
That's you, right?
A couple ones before that, you have like this perfect, like you look like you were time.
We're also recording, even though I don't remember stopping the clock.
We Scandinavians always want to be French.
Oh, really?
Well, they got, I mean, they have some likelihood.
I always thought that I was saying. Growing up, now that I'm in the pretty.
See what I mean?
I never, my dad.
Tell your lies.
My dad made up every 5 years what are like background.
Oh, really? Wow.
I feel like finally got to ask his mom, and she's like, no, you're 25% Swiss, or 25% French, 75% Swiss.
That makes sense.
Yes.
It's sort of.
Yeah.
French.
That's like,
Depending what part of Switzerland you're from.
I don't really want to get sick again.
Huh?
I don't want to get sick again.
I know, really.
Don't need to do it again.
Yeah,
Nope,
we'll have to pick a mic.
once is enough. I know so many people.
Is Catherine coming tonight?
Well, I thought she was.
Oh,
That doesn't work unless you push, and the green button's on.
Did you guys turn that on yet?
No, Paul, there's a button right there. Thanks.
Very
There you go.
It's not really on, is it?
Yeah, it is. Well,
Hello? Hello?
yeah.
yeah. Well, she'll get started. Oh, wait a minute.
That's here.
Pat,
That's,
Come on, Pat.
so when your exposure. Wait, go, Billy.
I hate being sick.
Yeah, shoot it in my direction. I think actually you should do it for Joel.
No, no.
Yeah, oh, we have copies of the agenda, because I couldn't download it.
Oh, really?
I
I
couldn't
know I
find it.
would have made one, but,
No,
no.
I have seen it.
There's one of these. I have one here.
If
You
you
want me to go make a copy?
told me, I could have made a copy of it.
Isn't Mariah in there?
Yeah, she is, but she's here too, as she needs to be to.
What,
Can I have a copy of the agenda?
you would like a copy of the agenda?
Yeah, Paul doesn't break a copy.
A question for the
Um,
chair. It appears you have a quorum and the meeting was scheduled for 6 o'clock. For the
Yeah.
sake of those of us who will have to reschedule our dinners around your 6 o'clock meeting time, how about starting?
Well, you know, you can eat your dinner over this. One of the advantages of attending remotely.
I'm looking.
Wait, Paul, get copies of the agenda and for Pat to start working on the puzzle and come take a place at the table. Okay.
But I got 2 3 pieces. This is one there. Oh, I'll just have a make a copy of this.
That's great.
You want to have a copy?
Yep, got one.
So she said she was supposed to, Catherine.
Is that right?
I wonder if he's up here. Is she up here?
No, she'll be here. She's.
Jesus,
right
what?
there.
Issue.
Yeah, I told her to come but wear a mask.
Yeah,
And then it sounds like, I mean, they're saying the new variant.
I know.
2 days.
What I had was not
Today
good.
Here can be.
Yep.
And 2 days, day and a half.
Yes, I am really enjoying not having it.
oh, Otter here now. But for those of you who are wondering why we haven't started, we're still waiting for Paul to get a copy of the agenda.
Here we are. Thank you very much. There we go.
Okay. All right, so. Call the meeting to order, a little bit late, 6:09. There are a couple of additions to the agenda. There's a late communication about a housing rehab application ready for approval. And there's some discussion about supporting a beautification grant. If we can move to the end of business, right? Yep. Anything else? We'll probably have a deletion when we get to it, but that's, we'll get to it. Okay. Privilege of the floor. Is there anyone who'd like to address the board? Ed?
Sure, I'm just pulling up your agenda so I remember the order of things. Just going from top to bottom on the agenda, beautification grant support for community signs. I guess you're talking about signs that are not town-owned signs. And I wonder whether it would be wise to contact the community organizations or private individuals perhaps who own the signs before applying for a grant. Also, please, if there's some way for you to turn up the volume, you're clear enough, Joel, but very soft. Moving down, code enforcement officer, there, I note on the report that he is working on renumbering DePutrin Hollow, which probably makes sense, but I would hope that that he would provide public information on all of the numbers that are being changed, the old numbers and the new numbers. Meeting minutes, I appreciate that statements from the public are being reproduced verbatim. It's a little wordy, but hey, it's a good way to solve the problem. However, much of the other conversation is not, and could lead to, bottom line, since you are talking about procedures and such later in the meeting, I think it would be a great idea to change your policy so that video recordings are kept forever, because you can't really tell who's talking on a recording unless you see the lips moving, and for that you need video. And finally, there is just one more thing down there. Yes. Surplus equipment. I see you have a template sample from the county. I think they've got a very reasonable procedure there. And I would encourage the town, when it adopts such a procedure, to make sure that includes a step that the public must be notified and given time. You notified in a useful way, and given time to respond with bids for surplus equipment before it is given away for free or recycled. Well, that goes all the way down the list. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else? Catherine has arrived. Yeah. So moving on. Is there any correspondence, Mariah?
No, I haven't, no.
No announcement? Anybody have an announcement? Okay. The code enforcement officer's report is submitted in writing. Steve is even here. Steve, I noticed you didn't include last year's January's total in your report. Well, it has a year-to-date and previous year-to-date. Previous year-to-date isn't filled in. Meeting minutes.
Okay, well, before you do that, with Steve, can I just mention that,
Use your microphone.
I want to mention that Steve needs some filing cabinets, because he's got files like stacked up here and there, and he needs to be able to, why is that not a, it's not a big expense, it just,
Well, not if you get them in use.
Worked out.
you have it worked out? He told me about this.
Yeah, yeah, those could work.
It's a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he didn't want it?
No,
Oh,
Are you serious? Oh,
yeah, he didn't think it would work, we're only looking anyway.
behind the white one.
behind the window. Oh, he didn't think it would work. Oh, really? Huh, okay, so that's different than,
Well, at least he was not impressed.
Mm-hmm.
they're different.
They're different,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It might be better for some purposes. We thought maybe they would suit his purposes for like, you know, big sheet store or something.
Right. I'm just mentioning it, and I'm gonna leave it up to Steve to pursue it. Because I'm on board with it, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. They're also very available secondhand because people are mostly not storing things in paper.
Craigslist,
Yeah.
cool.
The minutes. You know, I just get a chance to look at them. I spent 7 hours writing them. I spent an hour and a half working through them.
I got through most of it, not the whole thing.
You want to wait? Or
I mean, I do, but if other people read it.
I could not open it from my cell phone, and my computer was tied up because I couldn't get the code and then get back to the thing every time I went back to put it in the code in, so it wouldn't, it told me I had to go get another code. Then I get another code, I tried to go back and I couldn't. So I'm with Pat, wait till we get to 365 and don't use the Zoho Writer thing. Yeah, I mean, this is,
it's coming soon.
yeah,
Yeah.
And soon is,
Within the next 4 to 6 weeks, right?
yeah.
So, should we postpone?
Well, I want to read them, but I couldn't,
Yeah, yeah.
I
so
tried it
let's-
on my
let's just
email.
postpone till next time. And the warrants, which are double set again.
I'd like to move, general fund, abstract 28, vouchers 429 through 431 for $1,859.10.
Second. Any discussion? Now for the first vote of the night, Mariah.
Connors,
Yes,
Hanson,
yes,
Hunter,
Yes,
Woodworth,
yes,
Gannon.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you. I'd like to move highway fund abstract number 28, vouchers 258 through 259 for $195.17. Second.
Discussion? Nope. The vote?
Connors,
Yes,
Hanson,
yes,
Hunter,
yes,
Woodworth,
yes,
Gannon.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thanks, guys. Everyone.
Hi, Laura.
Hello.
I'd like to move abstract number 3, general fund vouchers 26 through 41 for $32,149.49. Second.
Discussion there? Okay.
Yeah.
Connors,
Yes,
Hanson,
yes,
Hunter,
yes,
Woodworth,
yes,
Gannon.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to move abstract number 3, highway, for highway vouchers 9 through 19 for for $17,798.03.
I got it wrong on the agenda then.
Is it,
What?
Got a 9 to 10, it's 9 to 19.
is it 19 or 10?
9 to 19. 9 to 19.
Okay, I got it wrong on the agenda.
19,
I
very
thought it
good.
said 9 to 19.
Does it?
Yeah.
Mine says 9 to 10. And I printed this afternoon.
Oh, uh-oh.
The one you just got hot off the press is 19.
19?
Well, I did mine earlier today.
I did it earlier today and it's got 19 on it.
I didn't end up with 10. Anyway,
I gave the wrong town.
oh, good.
Okay, I've got 19, and that was seconded by Woodworth?
Yeah,
Okay, are we ready?
yep,
Okay,
Connors,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Woodworth,
yes,
Gannon.
yeah,
Excellent, thank you.
right. I'm pleased to see our featured attraction of the evening here, which is our briefing by Jim Holohan. Jim is here, at least virtually. So, hi, Jim.
Hi, everybody. So the main attraction here this evening. Okay, yeah, the meeting is moving quickly along here.
Yeah,
So I just want to give an update on some things from last year, 2023, and looking forward into 2024 as far as energy savings in the town and a bit about clean energy community program. So in working with the clean energy coordinator, to do some of the advanced benchmarking. So in 2023, we were in the point system, we were at 2,900 points. And the next level of points is 3,000. So just completing the advanced benchmarking portion of it, which increases, which is at 300 points, which gets us over the 3,000 point mark. And by doing the advanced benchmarking, it makes us eligible for a free energy audit, which we can use on the town hall, and also eligible for a $10,000 grant. And being pushed over the 3,000 point level, it now makes us eligible for a $50,000 grant. So basically going forward into 2024, we'll have $60,000 to use towards some sort of energy saving projects and for the town. And so we'll get and I'm holding back on putting the $50,000 grant in, because once we do that, we have to have a plan in place to use it. And you have 3 months to actually implement. So so what I'm thinking is to complete the advanced benchmarking, which just gets us the $10,000 grant and the free energy audit. And we can use the energy audit to maybe decide on, maybe that's where we want to put the $50,000 towards, or a portion of it. So there's some options with that. There, we can see what the energy audit comes back with. A company called LNS will be doing out of Buffalo. And we can look at more EV chargers, replacing what's there. We can look at air source heat pumps, upgrading the heating system in the building. We can look at possible geothermal, a portion of the cost from that, and then using other incentives to help that along. Envelope improvements, insulation things for the building. Other things in town, we can also use it for maybe just sort of an incentive, some sort of incentive program for the town, or making people aware of what's available out there, some sort of education for the town. And we can, it all doesn't have to, all the funds doesn't have to go towards one project. We can divide it up, but we have to have it come up with a plan that gets presented to NYSERDA to use the $50,000.
Did you say it cannot, or that it can be divided up?
It can.
Can.
So you could put, $10,000 towards an education program in town. You could put, $10,000 towards, or $20,000 for EV chargers around town. You could do something like that.
So will hey, Jim?
Yeah.
Will you be giving us a document outlining what some of the options are and how much they cost?
Yeah, I think from the energy audit, we'll get some better costs for doing improvements on the building. And I think, and I can give you some ballpark for EV chargers. But I think the audit will come back with cost for doing improvements on the town hall. And if there's so what I'll do after tonight, I'll put together a little document I'll send to you on what I'm talking about now. And then you can have that to refer back to see what you might be interested in doing for the town. And
Thank you.
yep. And going forward after that, just want to put this in there. There's other possibilities. At the next level we can go up to, we're at the 3,000 point level. Next level is 5,000 points. And at 5,000 points, you're eligible for a $100,000 grant, which we can work to afterwards, because we'll be at 3,200. If we do a geothermal, we do something for the building, we can monitor the building, the town hall, see what the energy savings is. If we get over, I think it's 10-15% energy savings, we're eligible for another batch of points. I'm not sure what it is offhand, but I can look that up. And then we can work our way up towards the $100,000 grant afterwards, which I think it's not out of the question to get going forward. Let's see. And so, and with the EV charger, there is a program through NYSEG, which is Make Ready. And the Make Ready program will work to give you up to the cost of installing the infrastructure for the EV chargers, not the actual stand and the actual unit itself, but the all the electrical, the groundwork that we'll pay for. There was another program, incentive program, which we didn't qualify at the time, but it would have helped to pay for the actual stand. And we're hoping, work with some other consultants, I'm hoping we'll have that program will come up again. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. I did meet with Greg, and I just gave him an update on some of the things what I've talked about here, as far as incentives, energy savings for the building, what we already did for the the highway garage. Just to remind everybody, we did get a $100,000 grant a few years ago, and we put that into the highway garage with heat pumps and more insulation and air sealing in the building. And I met with Greg, and we were just kicking around different ideas. And one idea I had was to look at the comp plan, which has always been on the shelf to be redone. I know he has interest in working on that, and so maybe we can work towards putting together the sustainability portion of it as part of some of this funding. There's also through NYSERDA, there's a 50-50 co-share through Flex Tech program, which will pay for some of the comp plan or some of the sustainability planning for the town. So that's another cost share program. He thought there might be some other funding out there to actually get some other grant money to put towards sustainability for the comp plan. So that was another idea we came up with. But I will put together all this, and I just wanted to give you an idea what was happening with it and going forward. And I can answer some other questions if anybody has any.
Can we schedule an audit now?
No, not until which I could probably do within the next week, will be to finish the advanced benchmarking, it gets input into the EPA portfolio manager, which is EPA has this, it's this dashboard, and you put utility bills. So we put the utility bills for the last couple of years in there. And then once they're in there, they compare a typical building of the size and in the same type climate, a municipal building of the size, square footage, in other areas, and you can compare you get a grade. So, and if your grade is over 75%, then you're doing well as far as, you know, on the average of other buildings. If you get a 35%, you know, your building isn't doing well compared to other buildings of typical size and in the same kind of climate area. So it's just a way, and then it's a great way to track your energy uses. So going forward, when you get to your following year's utility bills, you put them in, and it's just a good way to track and compare to other buildings in the same group. So you have it just keeps everything in one place. So if you're using, 100,000 kilowatts this year, and you see you've got, going down 80,000, you can look at why, and you can see if your improvement was actually, if you've done things that actually they're paying off. You can use that for just to keep track of things. So that's what the advanced benchmarking is. And then once we get that in, then once it gets into the system, it'll probably take, I don't know, a few weeks probably before the energy company will contact us to schedule the audit. And then we can do it.
So with the same question that Pat asked, can you give us, in addition to all the other information you're giving us, a time frame when you expect all these benchmarks to be met?
I'll give you approximations as best I can. That's
right. I know, because it always takes longer.
Yeah, and I don't have any impact on when the actual, through NYSERDA, when that information gets in, how long it takes to get processed. I can give you ballparks, and then how long the actual company will take to get out here to do the audit. But we can't schedule the other implementing the other $50,000 grant until we actually are ready to do it. We only have 3 months at that point to put together a plan. Is there any other questions on maybe other things that you wonder if we could use the money towards, or any other ideas of things you want to see done in town, or?
I think you're on the right track. The first thing is going to be this building.
Yeah.
Which, really.
Yep.
And let's see how far we can take it. And then, of course, you're working on the charging stations. So I don't see that much money.
Yeah.
But
Nice job.
Thanks.
nice haircut.
If I understand this correctly, so in order to get over 3,000, does the benchmarking, is that what does it?
Yes, we're at 2,900 now, and the advanced benchmarking is 300 points. So it gets us up to 3,200 points. And by doing the advanced benchmarking, it's actually it goes back. You get $10,000 because they just changed some of the incentives amounts. It went from $40,000 up to $50,000 if you get it in by October this year. So we'll qualify for that. And also if you accomplish one of these other like the advanced benchmarking, we get additional 10,000. So if they didn't put the new incentives in place, we would have just got to 300 points, and we would have been eligible for $40,000. But since they changed the incentives, now we're eligible for the $10,000 plus $50,000 instead of the $40,000.
Oh,
So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. We're getting more money, and we're eligible as soon as we put this in.
mm-hmm. What pays for the sort of priming the pump? You're doing the benchmarking. Does that come out of the funds that we've already gotten, or?
The benchmarking, just I put time into putting in the data in. That's where it comes from.
So you're doing that?
Yes. Between me and the coordinator from Clean Energy Communities.
Excellent. So next step is getting the benchmarking out of the way, and then that'll identify some options, and we'll go from there. Is that right?
Yes. So next steps will be I'll get a little report to you, so you have this on paper you can refer back, and I'll get the benchmarking in. We'll get a notification from NYSERDA saying we're eligible for the $10,000. And then we post our benchmarking on our website, so people can see that how much energy we use. And see, so it goes on the website, we get the notification, and then NYSERDA will contact LNS, and they'll do the energy, and they'll get in touch with us to do the energy audit. So those will be the next steps.
Good. By the time we get through the winter, we'll know how much money we could save from.
Going forward, it all takes time.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks.
Yep. Welcome.
Okay, next up, consider adopting a policy position of surplus equipment. It has come to light a couple of times that we've got stuff we want to get rid of and we don't really have a policy we can point to for how to do it. And that's something that Leslie said, well, the county's got a policy, it's pretty good.
As far as I was aware, and I don't know where I got that information. It could have been from Rick, it could have been from Sue Beaners. It wasn't Laura like I thought it was, but I have always been told that we use the county surplus equipment supplies policy.
So we have one.
And structurally,
So we have one.
yeah,
So we have one.
Yeah,
well,
that's
it's, we
as
do.
far as I
know.
know, and I mean, the town board people have brought us lists of things to get rid of, and we say, okay, get rid of them, and they get rid of, or highway comes and says, we want to have this truck go to auction, is that okay? And we go, yes or no.
Yeah,
So we, as far as I can tell, I feel like we've been following it. Just a lot of people weren't aware of it. So
right, and know where the-
Laura and I
in
talked
place-
about it today and feel like we could, look at it and tweak it a little bit. We did some searches. It was really hard to find anybody locally who has one. But we were going to suggest that give us till the first meeting in March to come up with a draft.
yeah, it doesn't need a whole lot of tweaking, just a little.
No.
bit.
No, and I mean, it is different when you have surplus equipment at highway, which could
Yes.
include trucks and
Right.
other things. So it's, it is a little different. And the county policies, sort of talks to that, but, we thought we could come up with something.
Yeah.
Um,
Who's the we?
Laura and I.
She said, Laura.
I was talking with, because I wanted to ask Laura if I was under the assumption we were using county because of highway. Because of the equipment in
Yeah.
highway that we need to get rid of sometimes.
Mhm.
And, which would include auctions and other things. So, anyway. So we
That's
thought,
my memory also, that 4 or 5 years, 6 years ago, it was easy.
yeah,
Wasn't that we had to think about it that much, it just got done.
right,
And that includes, this building,
right,
and much smaller items.
right.
I just remember when I first was elected, Mary Ann had some stuff she wanted to get rid of, and it was like, what's the policy? I've got nothing to point to. And I didn't.
I think she came to us with a list. And we
Yeah.
Said yes,
Yeah,
or no, yeah. I did there's a list of things, a list of things that, I would like us to think about getting rid of. Which includes these 2 metal desks. There's the large, huge file cabinet over here that I thought Code was interested in, but it sounds like he's not. Maybe the clerk's office would be interested in it, and he could get a cabinet from the clerk's, maybe there's some
Musical chairs. that could go
musical
on.
chairs we could think about, because it's an interesting contraption.
Mhm.
And it holds
a lot of hanging
a
poles.
lot of stuff.
Right, if they're hanging poles.
Well,
right?
it doesn't have, no, I mean,
No.
actually, it's most of it, looks like it would be good for holders that sort of stand up on their own, don't even go there.
No.
Not now, anyway.
I mean, it's really, it's an interesting falcon, but anyway, hopefully we can do something with that.
Yep.
There's the old mailbox that a staff person is interested in. There's, 3 large boxes of white 3-ring binders that I don't know, I mean, I'd want to talk with Mary Ann about.
Whether you can do them or
I don't know who bought them or who got them, and, but they're just sitting in there, and they're huge, they're big, they're
Yeah.
like 4-inch binders.
Mhm.
And I'll bet there's at least 25 in there, at least. And there's a couple of office chairs that should
Mhm.
get gone. There's a large file cabinet that's broken in a clerk's office that needs to just get trashed. Metal
Recycle.
recycled.
Metal recycling.
And I don't know, these 3
Useless.
EMAX, huh?
They're useless. They're too old to actually go to reuse it, to be reused. They're trash.
Okay, I don't
Well,
know.
Yeah, those
They're too
Macintoshes are privately owned.
They're
I'd
what?
be happy to pick them up if you want.
Okay,
Please.
great,
Please
okay.
do.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Would you like it replaced with something more modern?
No,
Well, I think we have something. We have,
Well, but
you
they
know,
were
all we
supposed
need
to
is
be,
one.
they were supposed to be for public use.
Right.
they're
We have-
useless.
we have a couple options to put the, to put there,
Do we?
to have one, I mean,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, we have other options.
Okay.
Those are useless.
Only with PCNS,
Right,
because it has to be really secure.
right.
Yeah,
Well, no, they don't, because they're not, on-
Yes, they do have to be secure. They are on our network, yes.
no, they're not,
Yes, they're on the public network.
they're on the public, which is separate from the
Um,
town.
It needs to be, secure
Right.
systems. Anything in here needs to be secure. Give me a break.
Well, they are separate networks, so that's not so much.
Well, we can,
Mm.
question to ask them. So we can ask them, but,
Make it clear to Ted which ones he's taking.
there's,
You know,
Three max.
there's only 3 over there.
Yeah, that,
There's only 3 there. And for what it's worth, are you therefore going to have to secure anybody's laptop who brings it into the building? It's the same situation as a personal laptop they bring in,
Yeah, using the public access.
using the
network.
same public network.
Okay, so, I mean,
Yeah,
but they don't. need
I would like permission to either, I mean, there are some things that just need to get finished because they're broken.
on the,
to
on the
reuse.
chairs, you know, we're 5, but the planning board 7.
Right.
One, so they use those
They
other
use the
chairs.
extra, okay, all right.
I move that Leslie hauls this stuff away at her convenience and with the help of Zach.
Zach's got the vehicle with which to do it.
I mean, one of these desks is perfectly okay, the other one's missing a drawer, so,
They could combine them 2 in 1.
They're nice and
yeah.
scratch the floors, and we've already been through.
But to me, this is like the beginning,
Yeah,
Yeah,
trying to make this,
one of them
Yeah.
came out of the clerk's office.
you're gonna move the speaker over once they won't be sitting on the bench,
did anybody
Desk
second
anymore.
that?
No, I was totally ignored.
Second.
A question?
I do want to make it clear that your motion is to take everything out that, needs to be taken out, because her plan had some things to be reused internally,
Right.
so.
Right.
Right.
He's not taking everything out of the building. Nope.
Well, no, of course not.
I do want to say that I took out of this building 27 used printer cartridges, okay? I
Did
just
you,
wanna say
those
that.
recycled?
I just want to say that.
Did you take them to
Really
Staples?
appropriate.
They
That
recycled it.
Staples using 3 different phone numbers.
You know, I think we can trust the expertise of our board.
And they actually give, when you take them back, you get money back. or you get
Credit.
credits.
Yeah.
We get, yeah, we get real,
Yep.
lots of credits
But you can only take 10 back from.
at a time.
From that.
We never did more than that, so. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We can vote now.
We do.
A
Are we ready
question.
to vote?
A question that it might affect your vote.
Okay,
Um,
go ahead.
the county procedures, which Leslie liked and I think are pretty good, contain, I don't remember the exact words, but a statement that surplus equipment shall be disposed of in a way that is most financially beneficial to the county. In other words, before you chuck anything out or give it away to a staff member, you really have to ask the public whether they want it and how much it's worth to them. I think that's very
Right.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Giving it to a staff member or to be used in the office by a staff member.
Yeah, then it
See, that's
doesn't
the
count,
same
yeah.
way.
No,
And
no,
that's
but
the
then,
first
no,
step is to see
Yeah.
if
no.
in-house or in.
Not
the
giving
town.
it away for them
This
to take home.
offices, highway or.
Right, right.
Water district.
I think what's being referenced here is mailbox, which is not.
I mean, it's an old used mailbox. I don't think it's, I mean, I can look it up to see how much old used mailboxes are worth.
Yeah, I'm sure it's worth a fortune.
I mean, yeah.
The point is, it's not what you think it's worth, it's what the public thinks it's worth.
Hopefully somebody in the building can use it.
Yeah, we haven't,
Yeah,
decided to part with it yet, but
I think it's actually beautiful.
you can't even see it.
Huh?
You can't even see it.
Well,
Go back.
Steve moved that stuff.
Yeah.
I can show you later.
Yeah. So,
But hopefully Mariah or the clerk's office could use it.
so this is the motion to dispose of this, or to work your way down to
Yeah.
the hierarchy, yeah.
And Ted
To,
will.
to,
fit
with
the-
an end, it'd be out of here one way or another.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready to vote on that?
Yes?
Okay, Mariah?
Connors,
Yes,
Hanson,
Yes,
Hunter,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Leslie and I were supposed to finish reviewing the policies and procedures for prep so they could be reaffirmed, but that didn't happen.
Okay, so we
So
skip
we
that.
could postpone that until next time. Okay. Next thing is the CAC annual report has been transmitted to us from the CAC, which was approved at the last meeting. If you had a chance to look at it and it looks okay.
I move we approve the CAC report.
second that.
there's, I mean, I think there's one little typo.
No, yeah,
There
On
were
the
a couple
second
of words
page.
that Put together that was in her work on it, that she fixed on the.
No, this was just some, including the spring plant sale. I think, do they mean the plant exchange? What plant sale? Brittany and Don contributed activities to town events, including the spring plant sale. I think the person who wrote it just didn't know that it wasn't a sale.
that's right. It was
Brittany
a
was
Danby
there.
plant exchange. It was
It's a
that.
plant exchange.
Yeah, I did,
Oh.
you know, and I reviewed that and it just didn't even dawn on me that that was the case. And that could be changed.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Otherwise, it was nice.
Synopsis.
Accept the change.
So it's, the motion is to accept it with the change. And, okay, we add on and send it on to the DEC because we're supposed to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, moved by
Me.
you and seconded by anybody else?
Is it me?
Somebody. did.
Hanson, I believe, seconded it.
Did you second it? Gosh, she scared me.
Okay.
Sorry.
And Mariah, hey,
Um,
so you just got stuck with some stuff, you know that, right?
I'm sorry?
You just got stuck with some stuff, right? There was a couple
I got-
of changes.
Changes,
Right.
yes,
Oh,
accepted with changes.
that's great.
Yeah, and then
Okay,
you-
just wanted to make sure.
And then you
That's
get to send it on to the DEC.
all. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Good.
so we're ready. Yeah, more things to do.
Okay, Connors,
Aye.
Hanson,
Yes,
Hunter,
Yes,
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
Yes.
Thank you.
This. There was a little bit of an email exchange about the beautification grant. I guess there was some thought that it might be nice to go after Warren. That was kind of your initiative, right, Leslie?
Hmm?
That was kind of your initiative, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but then I guess Greg is doing it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
good.
he's doing it, meaning he's doing the application.
well, is it happening at all? It's the question, because they were thinking of doing it for the quote unquote town signs, of which there are two of them that actually are town signs, and the third one is the community council sign across the street, which is
Can't.
town related.
No, well, only the town signs we worry about.
Not on town property.
Not
Right.
town property.
We only worry town signs. But is that enough for the grant? Is that what he's working on?
Well, the problem there was that they didn't have any luck getting a hold of the property owner for the north sign anyway. And I don't know about the south sign.
I mean, those are also things that we could, we've gotten donations and stuff to, I mean, when I was looking into the beautification grant, it was pretty clear it needed to be on town property. And, because I was initially thinking that too, and then I was, there's some things that could be done on this property.
Well, Greg inquired because if it was just on town property, it would indeed be basically the town hall. But
Could be other places, but it needs to be near a busy road. It needs to be visible.
right,
Highway, which is not highway.
yeah, but it could be if it was a town sign, quote unquote, it was okay if it was on other property. We got that clarification that was admissible. The difficulty was that we didn't have the property rights permission to do it.
Right.
Well, Olivia was okay with the community council sign, but it's the community council sign. So, and part of the deal is that you're committing to maintaining whatever's put in. And I don't know that we want to commit to maintaining the, landscaping around the community council sign.
No.
But, it was years ago when it must have been more broadly, accessible then, because I can remember a couple of times when we got, we got trees, we did daffodils in West Danby, we did, daylilies one year. The planter in front of Lanes was done with beautification grant money. And the planter out here was done with beautification grant money, wasn't it, Paul?
I don't remember how we did it. I
Yeah.
know that
I mean, what shape is the gazebo
we did it in a few days.
Yeah.
I remember with the
in? I mean, could,
town equipment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we were reimbursed for that.
uh,
We had used a lot of stuff.
with the matching grant, you have to.
We're talking hundreds of dollars, not.
Yeah, right,
Couple
Maybe-
of dollars.
yeah.
maybe there's something we could do, at the highway entrance, maybe something that is permanent, more permanent, something like placing some boulders, which they have the equipment to do in a stylish way and, makes the highway look nice and. town property.
I mean, that's one of the other things, not just town property, but also, they want it like either along a highway
Yeah.
or somewhere visible to many people.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Pembroke Road
Which
was.
is not,
Yeah, no.
because I was thinking that too, but, they've got a sign too. But
Yeah, yeah.
maybe we can just,
And
How much
they-
money are we talking about?
could be $2,500.
The,
maybe.
town of Danby Highway Department, so, in Hornford Road.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's
$2,500.
$25.
I mean, I think we should maybe focus on doing stuff
Here.
on this property? The gazebo, does that need to be refurbished to the actual painting of it, or, I know it was done one year with beautification money.
I remember
Whether the plantings
that was
need to be done.
Well, here's another one that is in the back of my mind all along, and I think even Zach has mentioned it, is that I'd like to see more trees along the highway, all the way up and down this quote unquote hamlet area. And there's lots of spaces.
Yeah,
I think
there
that
is.
would make Danby look like something,
Right,
like you've really been, you're coming into something, then, which make a
right.
difference.
It's gotta be.
And the bigger the trees, the better off you'll be.
I
So,
mean, that may be something we can get other money for donations, or something, but this has to be on town. property.
Yeah, and that,
yeah,
there is an issue, the highway, the tree thing, that came up in the planning meeting. There's too many problems with
The
that one.
wires, the highway.
Well, what the,
Yeah, you're not gonna have to.
Right,
what, yeah, the Department of Transportation says they're cause accidents, people run into them.
right.
And that's what they,
You want a
and
clear zone, you know, to get.
Yeah,
And I think
but-
we wanted it.
But it doesn't matter anyway, because it's not town property, so it doesn't affect this grant.
Right.
in front of the fire, parking, the fire station parking lot.
Yeah,
I think we.
those
should
trees
put
were planted with beautification
Right.
years ago, when you could do that.
Right, so now it's gotta be town property and it's gotta be visible.
Yeah, well, you know, of course, all along the highway is visible, but it's not town property.
Right.
Somebody needs to develop the grant and then bring it back so we can approve. I think we should work on it, yes.
Yeah.
Are you willing to work on it with,
In February, I think.
Yeah, the thing with
so by then, we need it by next meeting then?
Next meeting.
if we wanted to try to do something.
Yeah, I
mean,
think
don't have
we
to
should
do
try
it.
to do it by next meeting then, if we can,
We don't have to work.
We have to be basically for this property.
I mean, it'd be good to have a couple people maybe look at this property and see if,
Well, if you guys are happy with what I did out here, we could do
Not so
something.
much.
Don't like it.
well, some
I've
of
heard that
it, I
before.
think some of it needs to get I mean, I
Needs
think
to be,
some of the.
Thinned and redone,
Yeah.
they
I
grew,
could stand some refurbishing, because
yeah.
Right.
I think, like some tall things were in the edge and short things were in the middle, or things didn't grow the way it was gonna be. It could have been,
a little overplanted, so that when it grew
Well,
up,
some of that stuff was like pre-existing. I wasn't
right,
attempting
Yeah.
to
right, yeah.
reinvent the wheel.
Some,
Some of it, stuff that got moved.
Yeah.
We're doing it on a budget. It's
Yeah.
not really good.
we
Yeah.
But
could,
what I'm saying is that, you know, like mimic that, like on the other side, but aren't there just, telephone poles over here? On the other side of the parking area?
yeah, I mean, maybe along the parking,
Yeah?
Mhm.
along, instead of those rocks that you run into.
Yeah.
well, there's,
And it was
you know,
full-
it, you know, the parking kept creeping towards the lawn.
But
On the
then maybe
edges of downhill,
come
if
up
you
with
get too
something.
far.
I think we should maybe focus on this property right now.
Mhm.
And for other things, maybe try and get, donate. I've got plants and stuff I could donate for
Yeah,
signs.
me
and
too.
stuff, so.
Well, one of the things we is a fairly high priority, because we need to figure out how we're gonna use our ARPA money pretty quick.
Right,
But redoing the entrance here was one possibility, and if we do that, and if we did it according to what I proposed, which Zach's gonna help me work it up to something we can get quotes for, because that was the other thing, what's it gonna cost? We need to know. The plannings would get redone in conjunction with that, because it would be a ramp up the middle, instead of having this, ramp on the edge and then stairs on the other side, get rid of the stairs and have just a ramp up the middle, but then you have planter on either side. And then the planters that was there now would go away, and then the other one would get a little bit bigger to better protect the parking, because it doesn't.
Well, the other issue is the length that you need to get from the height here.
Yeah,
down to
right,
the
which is, I
parking
got,
area.
there's a plan, but,
So
it
as
takes
long
you
as you
to.
have enough.
It takes you to a landing at the bottom, which landing is however about 16 inches above the parking lot at that point, and then you have to.
Go this
walk
way,
that way,
then.
over to where the two parking spots are, which should be handicap spots.
So you drawing it? You should draw it.
I did.
he
yeah.
did. He did. And some people
Extremely expensive too.
really like it that much, but,
So we'll,
we revisit that too.
yeah,
But,
we do. We need to be.
Okay, never mind.
what, the front?
He can do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
but, I think the beautification grant should focus on this.
Yeah.
Whether it be you know, something
How
along
specific to
the
the plans,
parking lot, the gazebo.
how specific do the plans have to be for getting that grant?
I don't think it has to, it doesn't have to be,
That's what I remember, they were really pretty vague.
yeah, I
So-
mean, it just, but I mean, you know, X number of plants across the lawn. In kind matching will be, you know, soil from highway and whatever.
Does it have to be,
Staff.
is it matching grant?
Yeah,
But labor count, right, volunteer?
and they even have a, you know, how
Schedule for
much the
what-
labor
yeah, right.
is. So,
So do you have you want to take on that work of writing up
no,
the,
I guess Greg is doing.
oh, Craig's gonna do it, cool.
Yeah.
So I'll give Craig a hard time.
Yeah, but I think we need to give up doing a sign. I mean, we can do the signs, but, I mean, and there are a couple of people who are interested in joining, being part of a beautification committee,
Yeah,
like we used to have. I think Colleen is one of them, and, you know, I'd be more than interested in helping do that, but also, you know, maybe help with putting things around those signs,
mhm.
if we ever get permission to even go on the property. I mean,
Well, we've been doing it, right, Glenn? You know, it's been
Yeah,
happening
we've been doing it.
it's like the property owner doesn't object, it's just that we can't get them to sign off,
right.
which you need them to sign off for the grant
Yeah,
application.
we can't, yeah.
But, you know, we got one in West Navy too, but it's pretty well landscaped already. I do that every year, just plant it.
I mean, maybe the only other thing we could do is have some sort of a hanging situation on the sign.
Well, that's a thought.
You know,
But then, you like to hang your back or something?
well, or some kind of wooden thing on each side, I don't know, you know, and not have it be in the town. But, I think we need to, the beautification thing, I think the grant has to be in early in March or something.
So we need to have it by,
It's not a lot of time.
so is Greg planning to work, but it doesn't sound like it's much detail. That doesn't sound to be too
Pretty
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
You can always call.
and Paul was willing to help him.
Yeah, and you can call call the person and run things by.
Thank
them.
you.
She can say, oh, good idea, or that sucks, you know, so. But I think, you know, it'd be nice to get this gazebo looking nice.
Yeah, well, that plan's been neglected pretty
And
much
maybe-
around the gazebo.
Yeah,
I forget what's out there. They were.
or even, you know, maybe a sidewalk, you know, a nice sidewalk going to the gazebo. I mean, that, it's, you know. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. But we should support, I think it sounded like Greg was wanting the town board to vote, in support of,
You probably wouldn't,
in
they
support
probably
of
wouldn't.
going after the grant.
I move we go after the grant and Greg do it and, Paul help.
I'll second that within reason.
That was
Probably
great. I
wouldn't
love that.
see,
I will second it.
Probably-
You did? I thirded.
Well,
They probably
wait a
wouldn't
minute.
see.
Are we
pruning of
serious or are we
trees.
goofing around? Is there a
Wait a
move?
minute.
Have
Yeah, I
we,
moved
is
it.
there? I'm sorry, what, do you move to?
That we, support a grant that, Greg will,
Applying for.
applying for a grant for beautification that Greg will apply for and Paul will help.
Mhm.
Okay.
They probably wouldn't see pruning trees that have never been pruned as the beautification, would they?
Well, you know,
Because they need it, you know, it's what's on my list of things that ought to get done. They've never been pruned. A lot of dead wood and a lot of stuff.
Well, it does.
They look a lot better if
That's
they're
for the
clean, if they're
gazebo to
pruned.
be seen. And when we talk about things that can be seen, nobody can see that gazebo.
I mean, that could be put into the grant, you know, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
trimming, you know.
But I know what you're talking about, because we had the drought, and then we had too much water, and there's a lot of stuff falling down. And
Yeah,
The dogwood is still alive.
dogwood's still alive. We got the Cornelian cherry out here, which was a donation by the county for our 200th anniversary, I think. We've got the Rick Dietrich tree.
That's the dogwood.
Yes, that is a dogwood, right? Which I was hoping to move
No,
over to that planter.
No. It was there on purpose.
we can't move it.
yeah, the bigger the tree, the harder it is to move.
Well, this is true. It would make a nice center point in that.
But it makes it nice where it is, and that's when the whole thing was for that.
Did we vote on it?
Can we vote now?
Are we ready?
Vote?
Are we
Yep.
ready? Okay. All
Very
right,
good. Connors? So we're supporting the Tompkins County Beautification Grant. Yes, Hanson,
Yes. Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Woodward,
Yes,
Gagnon,
yes. Okay, next up, we have another applicant ready to be approved for housing rehabilitation. Sharon Seagard.
I move we approve the application for Sharon Seacard.
Oh, I'll second that.
Any questions about it? I looked at it.
I only have questions about, publicizing people's names.
Yeah, me too.
And I,
Well,
you know,
about the
whether we
name,
can-
but
Can we just do numbers or something, you know, I mean, it gives off, you know, it gives information about somebody, their financial status or whatever. You know, if somebody really needs to have the information, they could come in and get the person's name, I don't. But I feel a little funny every time we do these and people's names are attached.
Sorry, I'm gonna tell you what this is when I was minute,
Okay.
because it is sort of pertinent. I'm gonna try and stop it from happening.
Pizza delivery.
So isn't it like it's a record, like building permits, right? Like you
yeah,
have
I think it is.
But it's financially based, it's a need.
space, so
Need based, but that's
I don't
still,
think it's my business that.
tell somebody,
Paul
you
Hanson,
mean,
you know, has applied for something and he qualifies.
so you're saying being put in the newspaper right now or something? That's
No, we've got the people's names and it ends up on the agenda.
It's only on the agenda.
There's a link.
I don't think.
there was a lot more there, but I didn't think
I
it
don't think
appropriate.
this should be.
Right, I agree.
I don't agree. I think that much should be known, you know, who's getting it. You know, it's nice to know that, you know, this house has been a problem in your neighborhood of being, you know, the person qualified and it works, you know, to get fixed up. But, otherwise we got this, you know, people don't know what happened to the money. I don't think that's a bad thing. Without having to
There
say,
is a record.
without going into the specifics of, you know, what was going to get done and how much it was gonna cost and what their, you know, qualifications were and all that rest of that stuff, which I don't think is something you want to share with the public. Although it may be it may be foilable if somebody really wants it.
Sure, if somebody really wants it, they can get it.
Yeah. But I don't think the name is a bad thing.
I do.
Well, I think it's a problem when the reference is when there's been a problem in a neighborhood, that casts the light on a person that maybe that's not what we should be doing. So instead of saying that, if you wanted to say anything, somebody's being lucky enough to have something to help them fix up something, it's a lot more positive than.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, but that's the problem with how, when we use words.
Yeah. I'm saying, you know, that, you know, it's nice to see, you know, this person who's having a hard time maintaining the property, you know, get some help.
I feel like that's the same thing.
That's the same thing, yeah. It might be an option to put the address in because it's for a property.
Yeah, that's,
So that's the other option without putting somebody's name in.
Somebody's name.
I agree. I would not want to put somebody's name. in. I don't like that.
okay, so I mean, so I'm okay with that too, if we want to
Okay,
use
I like
property
that idea,
instead of,
because that seems like a good compromise.
yeah. So in the future, instead of putting a name, we'll put the address.
Yeah.
But now we have a motion on the floor to approve this one.
Yes, we do. Are we ready to vote on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mariah,
all right. Connors,
I,
Hanson,
Yes,
Hunter,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gannon.
yes,
Excellent.
okay.
oh,
And we actually did the beautification grant.
Yes, we did. We put them together, so we're done.
So, next time. Next time, we've got a lot of time with Greg.
did you need to talk
Did you-
about
what I said,
Well, he
right?
had something to say to us.
Well, I'm gonna say that telephone call that just happened twice. That's because this happens to anybody, and it happened to me, and I fortunately caught it, but I bought new Linksys routers. So it is pertinent about IT stuff and how easily something can happen. So I bought these routers few months ago, was waiting for somebody to help, and that never happened, and I could never have enough time to be guaranteed that it would be okay to have the computer down, which was part of what happened today. And I looked up the number on the internet instead of out of my files to call them. And for quite a while, I thought it was them. And they did all this stuff, asked me a lot of questions, and then we're trying to work on it. And then I didn't do anything bad. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
So they asked me a lot of questions about, told me, you know, do this, we're going to do all these things. And then they did say one thing bad. They said, download this thing called AnyDesk so they could help. Well, I've never heard of AnyDesk, but I have had from Spectrum and from other people, legitimate download, and they help you. Sonos does it, and it's really very helpful. So I looked at that, and then they said, well, your IP address is, they say IP address, is corrupted, and you have to do something. And I said, well, I can't see anything. And they said, well, we see it. I said, well, I don't feel quite right about this. Then they said, well, we can do this, and it's either 149 for 1 year,
That sounds, yeah.
170 something for 2, and 300 or something for 5 years.
Mhm.
And then I said, so if we took 1 year, and we extended it after the 1 year? No. And then they said, and so Eric, we asked other questions, and the guy kept saying no, and then tried really hard. And I said, I don't think this is what I want to do. So I called TCNS and got Bart on the phone, and he said, yeah. And no, don't do that. And then Bart was on the phone when they called back again. And I said, no, I don't think I want to do this. I'm going to look into something else. And Bart said, perfect. We hung up. And then I called Spectrum, and they were able to set the modem lickety split, the new modem. And then they've been calling me ever since because they are mad because I didn't write.
Yeah.
But and the also news was that I was concerned because of, you know, town board email and blah, blah, blah. But the point is that what they do is it doesn't take anything for them to get an address and a company name with just something little funny in it, put it in there, and the help address, all that stuff has phone numbers, but they're not real. But the thing is, many of the companies have people whose accent is different, and so they're not all bad.
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's another, yeah. So anyway, just thought I'd let you know, that's why they keep calling now. So, and TCNS was really nice about it too. I was a little concerned about the town.
Yeah.
You know, because we often get those things where there's something and it says keep reading or whatever, and you click, and then all of a sudden you get those flashing lights. Oh, don't turn off your computer.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't ever do that. Yeah. Oh, and he told me you can push Alt F4, and that will stop anything. Alt F4. And that will close down whatever it is, but not your whole browser. That was kind of, yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, it was kind of interesting, and they tried.
Yep.
If you're trying, you should have somebody else answer your phone.
So
Oh, I
also, for the next meeting, we need to do the beautification grant should be coming back, and
Kind of, yeah.
the event.
All right, that's coming back to us, right? Whatever,
Actually, that.
whatever Greg can propose to you, whether either integrated into the zone.
No, separate. We said separate last time. We said separate. It's coming separate.
What are we doing?
Especially that.
Special event.
Oh,
And we need to do that soon because they are going to be starting,
We're gonna do
he's
it.
going to be starting hiring bands
I
soon.
Yeah.
I saw Wayne Holden when he came to pay the taxes. He was concerned.
Yeah.
And he feels that we should still find them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep. And he was quite, he said that not only, that they've already broken through his fence,
Really?
and the dogs are running loose all over, and through his yard and into the fence, you know.
Yeah.
He's broken through in this little four-wheeler.
This was not 3 years ago.
What?
This is recent.
This is this year.
Yeah.
After the fence, which he built
Yeah.
just prior to the event.
Yeah.
Broken through his fence. So, and he said that his feeling was if you don't want somebody to do something, you follow through. And
You gotta follow through,
the
yeah,
more things
absolutely.
that, the more,
Whether,
yeah, the more things that happen, the less inviting it is for him to do it.
yeah, that, all that stuff should just be, just do it and do it without regard to the fact that, you know, whatever the minimal fine that Gary may apply to this thing or not, just make them go through the process. That it's a pain in the neck and it doesn't feel good and, you know, it will eventually be a deterrent. So,
And having a proper special event permit where
Right.
people can apply and do everything is a much better plan.
Right, and, you know, so I think we all agree that we need to have, right now, what he did is not allowed, period. So, I mean, so, if you do it at all, it's a violation.
Right.
It's, and I think we all agreed that, you know, it was kind of a nice event, just the wrong place for it.
It wasn't that night of one,
Yeah.
not if you were living there.
It
Well,
was-
that's what I'm saying, that's what I mean by wrong place for it. You
So-
know, in the right place, it would be a nice event.
It would be nice to be able to have an event somewhere.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but not there.
not maybe copying that one either.
so actually, I'm looking at you, Joel, can you make sure that that notice of violation and notice to appear is sent out to that guy?
Well, you know, I am not, an administrator. We are the administrative body.
Right.
So if we want Greg to do it and Steve to do it, we should just say, this should be done. And if it doesn't happen, then the answer is
It's on us.
It's
Actually
on
on
us.
us.
So we need to vote on saying that?
Well, you know, in as much as, I mean, we sort of avoided bringing it up last time because let's get the law in place so that we have a procedure now in the future. I was of the opinion that it wasn't worth chasing $350, but it was not the sense of the board that that was the case. The board directed, the code enforcement people back in July to prosecute the violation.
Correct.
And it did not happen.
And they can still do it,
They
right?
could still do it.
Yeah,
It's-
it still should be done. What we did is we gave him free rein to do it again, no matter what our laws are, because we don't enforce
Because they didn't
our
enforce
laws.
it.
Right.
And
And
we have a lot of other.
Our
enforcement
job
issues.
now is to write the new law, so that make sure that
Right,
Right.
there's more.
that's
Okay,
future,
okay.
not past, fixing the past.
But it was.
Because if we write a new law, even
Right.
though there's a permit and they believe we won't follow up on it, they
Right.
can do the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Right.
think we need to
Sure.
be careful about what we're calling it. The thing we're talking about is a special event permit,
Right,
permitted, activity,
right.
not a law. So
Well, it's a law, the law.
the law is a
To
zoning.
create the
we broke
permit.
No, no.
Zoning.
It will be a law either way.
It's a law.
It's a law.
The law that creates the permit.
Yeah, it creates the permitting process. It would either provide for, what's the word? It has to be integrated into the zoning, but, it will either, it could be written as an exception to the zoning, maybe, I don't know. It's gotta be in there, it's gotta be an allowed use within zoning. If you're gonna have a permit for it. So somehow that's gotta be finessed, and I think Greg knows that, and he's working it out. So it may end up being a freestanding law that both, you know, creates the permitting process and changes the zoning to make it allowed use.
Yeah.
So he's working on that. He'll have it for us at the next meeting.
That's independent of
Yeah.
filing.
It is independent of that.
Yeah.
And
So if you-
I mean, I think it's perfectly fair to say we're pretty reluctant because it's not, doesn't feel nice, but that's the whole problem. It's because it doesn't feel nice does not mean it's okay. And we should do it.
Prosecute the violations. then?
Yes.
Okay, well, then why don't we make it formal? Why don't we make it more?
I move that we,
Prosecute the violations?
file,
Should we be doing this when it wasn't on the agenda?
Sure,
yeah,
in addition.
Yeah.
So notice of violation.
It's already been.
We
did that.
We did
We
all
already
of that.
There's two steps. One is
Yeah.
the notice of violation and the other one's the appearance ticket for coming before.
so we send a notice of violation and an appearance ticket.
Right. needs
Didn't
to
we
be
do
sent
We
out.
already gave, I thought we gave that notice.
I thought we did too. No.
So it's a matter of
Beforehand, we
following
told him it
through.
wasn't legal. We did nothing after the fact when he had it.
I think you're right.
We did nothing after the fact when he held it.
Yeah.
This is for
That's right.
after the fact,
I think we told them beforehand, if you do it, it will be a violation.
and we didn't
did it.
do anything
And then he
to
didn't,
convict.
and then we didn't follow up when he actually did it, to say, okay, you violated our law and we're gonna prosecute you for it.
So do we need to now, you move that,
I moved it.
I second.
Hold on.
What
The
did he move?
movement that I heard was to send a notice of violation and appearance ticket.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
We followed up with an appearance ticket, and then we don't.
Yeah, I think it could be even more broadly, to basically to prosecute the violation.
There isn't a time period in between.
Yeah, you can send,
You know, I mean, it's been a long time, but that doesn't mean you can't do it, right? I don't think there's statute of limitations on prosecution of the violation.
So it's prosecute the violation.
I think that's what they, because you're gonna have to follow through, it's a multi-stage process, you tell them they violated, give an appearance ticket, and then you gotta take it to court.
Right.
The next step, right?
So it can just be prosecute the violation. more or
Yeah.
less.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what is the movement to prosecute the violation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, are we good?
yeah, we can vote now.
I think so.
Okay, very good. Connors,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes,
Hunter,
Yes,
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
Yes.
Thank you.
So that was kind of an aside from, the fact that it's going to come up at the next meeting.
Right.
We also have I'm not sure when the further, quote unquote, low hanging fruit zoning stuff is going to come back, but that may be there too. When we should spend some time on revisiting the capital projects list, because we have only till the end of the year to commit our ARPA money.
Well, we should do it sooner than that. Yeah.
Well, way sooner, because the project has to be committed.
Yeah.
So it's not saying, well, we make up our mind what we want to do, we actually have to have it, to award the contract by the end of the year. And preferably before, because any contracts that are awarded, toward the end of the year, that will be implemented next year, you can't change them once you get past December 31st. So if something doesn't work out, you can't do it, you're stuck doing what you said you're going to do, of course, if it were done this year, you could change it until you get to the December 31st. So, sooner is better than later. So far, I mean, we have a short list of things that are on the possible thing. And one of them was to, and maybe this would be a good time to bring it up, although, again, something new, but we got time, why not? One of the possibilities was to, I think you could do this, you can acquire the solar arrays before in fact, I think it was within the range of possibilities. If we committed to it, it could happen in the next year or the year after. We have till 2026 to actually spend the money.
Wasn't somebody gonna look into?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. There was thought of having Mauricio Medina, who has expertise, evaluate the condition of the solar array at the highway facility to give us an idea, what kind of shape it's in, what are projected expenses associated with it, were we to acquire it, projected lifespan. Because you might want to know, right? Before you say, let's buy it. We have the option, and the price is in the contract. Paul, you probably know better than either of us what the story is with the array out here.
What are you talking? Did you just say Laura or Paul?
No, Paul. Paul's.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought I heard you mention my name. Sorry.
so we're talking about the ones that these aren't ours, from what I know, and that was done before I was here. And they essentially,
Well, no, they're not ours, right? But I think it has the same provision to be bought out after so many years.
I didn't know about that. I never heard about it. No one ever mentioned it to me,
No.
but I think somebody should look into it.
Yeah.
So let's look into it. I don't know if we have that option. There's some agreement in how the breakdown is, and
Yeah.
basically, they put it in there so that they have place to make the money you make off the solar panels.
Laura had said at the last meeting that there was time enough to use the money for it.
Okay, but. we're
But
talking
not getting it done early. No, that's not one of the options.
Well, yes, but
I'm
what you're
not
saying
following the
though,
thread here.
Yeah.
There's two different solar arrays. There's one on
Right.
this property that's here, that's in a whole different contract than
Yeah.
the ones that are over at the highway.
which is a much
And I think
larger
what
array.
you're talking about is the highway,
Yeah.
because how much, right?
Now, we started saving up for it, we got so many already,
Yeah,
but,
we got the money 4 years ago.
well, if you want to take it out of the fund balance, we do.
We didn't have money saved.
It was never allocated,
No,
but we always thought in terms of it being there.
there was a
Yeah,
plan.
no, I mean, we did set some aside.
But not the whole amount.
No, and the plan, as I recall, was to like put $10,000 a year in so that we saved up for it, but then we didn't do it. You have something, more information, Ted?
You were headed toward what I remember is the right answer. The array near Town Hall had a buyout option. I believe it was after 10 years. And the town started off putting aside 10,000 a year or something like that for that purpose. I'm not sure how they set it aside. And that sort of fell by the wayside after a few years. The highway one is more recent, and I'm sure that there's a buyout, there's some kind of option there too, but the set aside was for the one near the town hall, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I remember it differently, but,
yeah, it was a highway.
yeah,
It's highway.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, remember that the one by town hall was, I believe that's the one where it was basically being purchased on time. There was a loan and you were paying that off, and that's why there's a buyout at the end of 10 years. I'm not sure of the mechanism for the one out at highway.
Well, let's look into it.
Yeah.
And that-
Well, so where I'm going with that was, Laura suggested, that it'd be good to evaluate the, as part of the process, the condition of the system, what, interest. And it might be worth spending a little bit of money, have an evaluation.
Actually, she didn't recommend doing that. She recommended that whatever maintenance had to be done, on it, that we know what maintenance has to be done, because then we have to do it. The quality of the arrays, we don't want to know what the qualities of the actual panels are right now. We want another life expectancy. You don't get that by looking at them. And we already did some evaluation on that, and the life expectancy looks well beyond
Oh, yeah.
what we have to do. So that's not what it was. It was to look at what kind of maintenance is done normally, because there is somebody now that does something. And that's what we need to double check. We would have to do it coming up.
Well, that's what I thought.
That's what it's at.
Sort of how much is it gonna cost us?
Right,
Not
is-
just
is-
buy it out. but
right.
to maintain it.
Can we
Is-
just hang on just a minute, and can we get Jim to talk this a little bit? Because I've worked with Teddy M, who has done my second array for me. And I was talking to Laura about him taking a look at the array. I mean, these guys, from my experience, my limited experience, is arrays have a really long lifespan. And that the only issue, if there is an issue, are the inverters. Which again, I mean, my arrays are up to 15 plus years and have shown no sign of breakdown at all. What do you think?
Over time, there is some slight degradation to the panels themselves, but the real issue is the inverters, as you're saying. That's the real thing that fails over a period of time. And I think Laura had said that she would be happy to call Mauricio to not so much look at the panels, but to look at the structure to see what improvements, how much maintenance, how much more work, how long the structure and the groundwork how long that would potentially last and how much more work he sees coming up on that. And if, I'd be happy to also, if, wanted a second opinion, I could find someone as well.
Yeah.
So,
No.
the, the inverters, there's gotta be, history on inverters, and how long they last.
Sure,
Yeah.
but you can't always depend, you know, they may have they're probably on some sort of warranty. Might have been 5-10 years, but that's probably expired by now. They, not all you know, inverters last the same amount of time. I'm not sure what the original warranties that were on them. And they might last the full length of time, but sometimes they go out early.
I'll second what Jim is saying. I've had my panels now about 10 years. You're supposed to lose a couple % of output every year. I don't believe so. I've been doing better than that. You know, have not been losing much. And mine are done with microinverters. There's one inverter per panel, and there's a steady attrition rate on them, but they're under warranty, and I think it's longer than 10 years in my case. It's more like 25. So it's been economical so far. And even after 10 years, you have plenty of power coming out.
How much are we gonna pay somebody, Mauricio, so it's been decided that's who we're gonna.
And it makes more sense to have somebody who is already doing the work, so we know what they've done. We want to know what they've had to been doing all this time, because there is somebody that does maintain that area.
I don't know who Mauricio is.
And he was,
I was suggesting using Dave Tedian. Jim?
Who you saying? Who, Dave?
Dave Tedian.
Oh, Dave Today, yeah. Oh, that's who I would recommend. He was the main installer for Tatum. He has his own company called Energetics or something, Solar Genity or something like that now. But he'd be my recommendation.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
say again?
His name is
Mauricio and I have been back and forth with a few phone calls, not really connecting. So if you gave me that information, Jim, I could reach out to that individual you're talking about, Jim and Paul, or Paul can, or whatever. But my understanding when we were talking about this was that we wanted to have somebody come out, take a look at this array, assess it, to see, as Pat was saying, what kind of maintenance we're looking at, what are we looking at, what's the, kind of looking at the asset, because at that point it's going to be our asset. And we're spending $70,000 additional, 75,000 or whatever it is, into this array. And is it really worth it? Has technology advanced since that time? Just do a really good assessment of what we're looking at. So if you give me that number, I could call and try to get that set up. At least get an idea how much that person would charge us to come out and take a look at it, and to say, yes, this is worth your $75,000 right now. It doesn't look like, from what I can tell by the inverters, what I can tell by the panels and by the shape of everything, that would be a good investment for us to make, would be to, move forward and pay for it.
Laura, I'll send you an email that with Dave will be copied on. You can connect with him that way.
Thank you, Jim.
So I think I would move that we authorize them to proceed and hire somebody to do the evaluation, so we have that information.
Right. I think we should be specific. You want to do that right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I move that we enlist or hire Dave Tedian to evaluate the solar array at the highway.
Second.
Dave, what's his name?
Tedian, Tedeyan. Sound good, Jim?
I'm pretty close, yeah. And you should probably put a dollar value on it too
And not to exceed the number?
yeah.
What do you think?
I would say $500. I'd take him an hour out there, say a couple hours and an hour to do evaluation or something, report.
Okay, so let's make that part of your motion.
And yes, we're gonna put a limit.
Up to 500.
Up to $500.
He'll let you know if it's different than that, so ahead of time.
Okay. Been moved and seconded?
I'll
So we
second
can
it.
vote.
I
I second it.
Did you ready? Okay. So, we good for that? Ready to vote?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not even muted. Excellent. Connors,
Aye.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, that was related to, visiting the, how we can spend our ARPA money. We can focus on that specifically.
And, I don't know whether this happened before.
she has a
Yeah,
question.
something
Back
wants
one.
to send it.
So I was thinking about the community center because can you hear it?
Yes.
This is
You
better.
keep it up there, we can.
This is so awkward.
You're doing great.
I just like to, bring up the community center with the money. I was talking to Steve today, Courtright, and we were talking about this property next door that has this lovely house that's collapsing on itself.
Yep.
And it would be possible, in theory, and be able to manage by the town, instead of the park association, to tie that into this property. And
Yeah.
have connected driveway,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't have to add as much. And if
Talk to the mic.
I'm sorry, I'm just talking to you guys. But no, it would be, yeah, it'd be killing two birds with one stone, as they say. I realize that's, trying to figure out grants to cover that. But it seems more feasible than trying to figure out if the front of the park is actually a usable thing. I know there are wetlands there, but it would have to have a land use survey done. I believe there is one somewhere. But
Someone said that the wetland delineation had been done years ago.
yeah, I mean, it has been done, but
Well,
I don't want to cut you off, Zach, but
Please.
this history with this property. Chris Muka was.
oh no, I know.
Well, that's
About
this property.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about,
There's
right?
two things.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about this
Yeah, it's right here.
because I've read his history with all
We
the.
tried to buy it.
Yeah.
We tried to buy it right after he bought it for
Sure.
more, and it was like a no-go. It was just a false start. And I don't want you to get your hopes up, I think it's a great idea, but
I think maybe it's gonna happen.
Technically, he doesn't own it.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
no, there's some weird sweetheart deal with an employee where he put it in his employee's name.
Hmm.
And
oh, I know.
you know everything.
Yeah, I mean,
How'd you know everything so quickly? You've only been in town that long, but.
I guess excessively stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's no, that's-
I am nosy. I mean, because right now, like, and I think, Rhonda, you might be happy to hear this about the house on the corner of,
Right.
Michigan Hollow and Danby Road.
You must have talked to him right after I talked to Steve.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
you have a friend who might be buying that house.
Yeah.
Which is great.
we're actively, I mean, trying to, get that house
Right.
not in that shape, hopefully this year, if they're willing to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's, I mean,
It's all doable. It's just stupid.
yeah,
I mean, why, down Laverne, you get to have that kind of opinion. What Muka's doing with that property, that's stupid. That doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense whatsoever. That he wouldn't be willing to, but he's got this honorary, I don't know what the deal is, very contrary.
Well, it's obviously code. I mean. it's-
Well, we
it doesn't
could,
meet
we
code.
could, and maybe should even, lean on it
Yeah.
to do something about the house because of the conditions now in.
Right,
Yeah, I
and,
mean, he's not the only one, but
right,
that's,
yeah, he has to be leaned on.
do you know if were you the code enforcement when they demolished the garage on it?
Yeah, that was me.
Did they do an abatement study to demolish that?
Thank you, thank you. Can we maybe go off the record here?
Yes.
This this is
Okay.
part of the conversation.
I do know.
Steve and I had.
Oh, yeah.
Mucus got money. There's another one that's the guy has money. He got skated. And both of those need to be pushed forward.
I think I mentioned other ones. Yeah.
So it'd be nice to have a success.
You weren't here for announcements.
Right, that's why I.
Yeah.
So that's for the agenda next time. Catherine wasn't here when we came to announcements on the agenda, but she's got one, so.
Yeah, it's not me. I don't have it. Toby, I saw Toby here.
Yeah.
He sent us an email during the meeting. I just happened to see it.
Yeah.
And he was asked to join the advisory committee for, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's something, Office for the Aging.
Yeah.
And that oversees the county services. They're looking for someone from Danby. I only have gone to one meeting. I believe our job is mainly to listen to the heads of various agencies and offer counsel if needed. The Office for the Aging, I must be missing one word, but OFFA is having an annual public hearing tomorrow.
Yep.
At the Danby Church at 11 o'clock. We've heard this before, but this is another reminder if anybody tunes into the video. And I think that's what he meant by the bad link, because I hit that by mistake too, and that was a video link for a video instead of a link for the video conferencing of the meeting.
It's
But
gonna be
anyway.
video conference? Huh? Gonna be video conference?
No, about how I couldn't get in to see it.
Oh.
I didn't say that part. Anyway, they will be outlining all the various services available. There is also a survey on the webpage shown that can be done to give feedback on senior services. You are always welcome to offer some questions or advice that I could pass along at the monthly meetings. Thank you, Toby Dean. So
So we have a local here
yep, on the office for the,
what do they call the group?
Office of the Aging.
yeah, but this OFFA, what's the second?
Office for the Aging Advisory Committee.
Advisory committee, that's it.
Two F's. OFFA. What's the other F?
OF.
Anyway.
Office for the-
COFA, COFA. That's what they call themselves.
Well, he got, there's two in the communication from
Yeah.
Toby, isn't there? I've only seen it as OFA.
Okay,
Office
it's
for
just
the
a
Aging.
mistake.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, and there's a link, but everybody, it's been announced last week or last time, and now it's announced again tonight. For anybody who happens to be tuned in, it's mostly us.
Okay. All right, so with that, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Bye, Jim.